Have you ever noticed how some people don't get trapped by negative thoughts, while everyone else gets pulled into spirals that last for hours or days? These people seem to move through negativity without it sticking to them. What if I told you they're not more positive than you? They've just learned to break the connection between negative thoughts and their sense of self. You're about to discover why negative thoughts feel so addictive, and the one shift that breaks their power over you. Because freedom doesn't come from replacing negative thoughts with positive ones. It comes from changing your relationship with thinking itself. In the next few minutes, you'll understand why negative thoughts keep coming back and how to break free without fighting them. This isn't about positive thinking. It's about seeing negative thoughts clearly enough that they lose their grip. Because the problem isn't the thoughts, it's believing them and identifying with them. Here's what most people don't realize. Negative thoughts feel addictive because they serve something in you. On some level, they feel familiar, even comfortable, not pleasant, but known. And the known feels safer than the unknown, even when the known is suffering. And here's where it gets interesting. When a negative thought appears, most people immediately become that thought. What's the point? Becomes, I am hopeless. This will never work. Becomes, I am a failure. The thought and your identity merge. And that's when you're trapped. Think about what this looks like in practice. A thought appears. You'll never figure this out. If you believe it and identify with it, it becomes your reality. You feel it in your body. You act from it. You make decisions based on it. One thought has now taken over your entire experience. Most people spend years trapped in this pattern without realizing they're doing it. They think the thoughts are just happening to them. They don't see that they're believing them, feeding them attention, building their life around them. What free people understand is that thoughts are just mental events. They appear in your awareness the same way sounds appear in your environment. You hear a sound, but you don't become the sound. You don't build your identity around every sound you hear. Thoughts work the same way, but most people haven't learned to relate to them like that. The key to breaking free isn't replacing negative thoughts with positive ones. It's recognizing that you are the awareness in which thoughts appear, not the thoughts themselves. And from that awareness, negative thoughts lose their power to define you. If you're still here, you're recognizing something important, that you've been identifying with thoughts instead of noticing them. Most people stay trapped in this pattern forever because they never see the distinction. But you're seeing it. And what I'm about to share next will show you exactly how to break the identification. This is where freedom begins. If this is resonating with you, please subscribe. Here's the thing about negative thoughts. They're not the problem. Your relationship with them is the problem. And that relationship is built on one fundamental mistake: believing them without question. When a thought like, "What's the point?" appears, most people don't examine it. They just accept it as truth. They don't ask, "Is this actually true?" Or, "Do I really know this for certain?" They just believe it and feel the emotions that come with believing it. But here's what changes everything. The moment you question a thought, you create distance from it. You're no longer lost in the thought. You're observing it. And that observation is the beginning of freedom. Try it right now with any negative thought you've had recently. Ask yourself, is this thought absolutely true? Do I know it to be true beyond any doubt? In most cases, the answer is no. You don't actually know it's true. It's just a thought claiming to be true. And thoughts claim a lot of things that aren't real. This isn't about convincing yourself the thought is false. It's about seeing that you've been believing thoughts without evidence. You've been taking them at face value just because they appeared in your mind. But appearing in your mind doesn't make something true. When you see this clearly, something shifts. Thoughts still appear, but they don't carry the same weight. You stop automatically believing them. And when you stop believing them, they lose their power to control how you feel and what you do. Right now, think of a negative thought you have frequently. Got it? Now ask, is this absolutely true? Can I know this for certain? Not, do I feel like it's true, but do I actually know it's true? Notice what happens when you question it. The thought doesn't disappear, but it loses some of its grip. That loosening is what freedom feels like. Most people resist questioning their thoughts because they've identified with them for so long. They think, I am my thoughts. So questioning thoughts feels like questioning themselves. But that's the whole problem. You're not your thoughts. You're the awareness, noticing thoughts. Here's what's interesting. When you identify with thoughts, you suffer. When you observe thoughts, you're free. The suffering comes from the identification, not from the thoughts themselves. This is why two people can have the same thought, and one suffers, while the other doesn't. It's not the thought that determines the outcome. It's whether you believe it and identify with it. What makes this pattern so hard to break is that identifying with thoughts happens automatically. You've been doing it since you learned to think. So when a thought appears, you don't pause to ask, is this me? You just assume it is. The thought and your identity merge instantly before you even realize it's happening. But here's the key. Automatic doesn't mean unchangeable. Just because something happens without your conscious choice doesn't mean you're stuck with it forever. You can learn to notice the gap between a thought appearing and you believing it. That gap is where freedom lives. And here's what's beautiful. You don't need to change your thoughts to be free. You just need to stop identifying with them. When you see yourself as the awareness noticing thoughts rather than the thoughts themselves, negative thoughts can appear and pass without defining your experience. They're just mental weather passing through your awareness. So how do you actually break the identification with negative thoughts? It starts with catching them in the moment and creating distance through awareness. Throughout your day, notice when a negative thought appears. Don't try to stop it or change it. Just notice it's there. Here's the practice. First, label it as a thought. When "what's the point" appears, say internally, there's a thought that says, "What's the point?" That simple labeling creates distance. You're no longer the thought. You're the one noticing the thought. Second, question it. Ask, Is this absolutely true? Not aggressively, just curiously. You're not trying to prove it wrong. You're just checking if you actually know it to be true. Most of the time, you don't. Third, notice you're still here, still aware, even without believing the thought. The thought can be there, and you can be fine. You don't need to believe it for it to exist, and you don't need to fight it for it to lose power. Do this consistently, and something shifts. Thoughts still appear, but you stop taking them so seriously. You recognize them as mental events, not absolute truths. And from that recognition, you're free. Not because negative thoughts disappeared, but because they stopped controlling you. Over the next few days, you'll catch yourself believing negative thoughts less automatically. You'll notice them earlier. You'll question them more naturally. The grip they've had on you will start to loosen. This isn't instant. You've been identifying with thoughts for years. But each time you notice and create distance, you're rewiring the pattern. You're learning that you are not your thoughts. You're the awareness that notices them. And that changes everything. If this resonates with you, you're exactly who this channel is for. People who are ready to stop being controlled by negative thoughts and start living from awareness. Subscribe for more on breaking free, inner peace, and working with your mind instead of against it. Hit that like button if you're done believing every thought. And comment, sharing one negative thought you're ready to stop identifying with. Freedom is closer than you think. It's in the space between you and your thoughts.